it's such an abstract thing that like, as long as you have done enough projects to say like you've met corporate people, you've done nonprofit work, you've done big enterprise company work, you've done government work, you've done whatever the case might be, it's the same. So like building experience, taking on projects and like getting your hands dirty with like how things work, project management, that seems to be a big deal. Can you communicate? Can you talk to people? Can you get like the answers to your questions to know what people need? It's simple. It's really more communication than like designing anything, because all you're doing is putting together what somebody told you they want in most cases, right? It's like what people want to see, what you care about, what colors you like, it's just putting together things. So if you can synthesize information and ask the questions that you need to get what you need to deliver, then I think you good. Honestly,
that's a great point. That's a great point. See, I come from professionally from like now with I would say the world of sales, that background, which is also all about asking questions.
Yeah, you gotta listen
to your customer ultimately, and knowing what to ask so you can provide the right value for the person you're serving, like, a unique experience for that individual. So it's interesting to hear how really the same skill set or the same methodology is what leads to a lot of success across multiple disciplines, not just sales, but design. And just if you're working with people, essentially, you got to understand how to listen and how to ask good questions. So that's very interesting to hear.
Yeah, because like it's also like you also listening for what a person is not saying. That'll also tell you like what it is that they might actually be asking for, right? Like people can say, well, I don't like this, I don't like this, I do like this, I don't like this. But if you actively paying attention, you can also say like, it sounds like what you're actually saying is that you really want this thing, right? Like, because I think people, at least when people come to creative people, they're always like, well, I'm not creative, but I would love to work with you. And this is what I want. And I'm like, I feel like you could just do it yourself. So like, I'll teach people some of these things and like tools to use and all those things too. So you're not like dependent on me forever. So it's really just a lot of empathy, man. And asking questions and being curious, I think, is the biggest thing. In any case, in most cases, I feel like.
And I gotta highlight the importance of seemingly you were like seemingly networking through the community too, like getting your name out there in different pockets, like the music, but then like the school community. So like that desire to actually get involved outside of what may have been a comfort zone at the time and try some different things. Having that willingness to do so is like, I think, important to highlight too, because you got to take risks. You just got to go out there and try stuff, even if it's quote unquote trash at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's a fact.
And doing the music, I know that you had the music background and you're doing the design. Like, at what point does the fork in the road start to like split to where it's like, I'm kind of not really rocking with one anymore and I'm leaning more toward the other?
That's a good question. So I think, because I was performing, doing music all through college and then put out some albums after college. In 2017, I think I was like, because I met my wife in 2016. And I'm like, all right, so one or two things is going to happen. Either one, I need to move or she needs to move. And I'm like, she's pretty settled. She's got a career there. She's loving what she's doing. And then I'm also like kind of tired of being in Greensboro. Like I think, I had relationships. I had friends. Music was going good. Community was going good. I was like traveling a little bit with the music, which was nice. But I was like, there's gotta be something else. And I don't know that I want to like redo this in a new place. So like Durham is different in like the music scene is, it's fine. It's like you got live performers, you got people that love to do shows, but then it's like either the same people or the same groups that are throwing the shows. So I'm like, I don't know that I want to do all this like politicking with people and trying to like do all that all over again. I knew some people here that was like performing poetry and stuff. And I was like also easing out of that. And I think I just wanted something else, I wanted to spend some time like as I moved to Durham, like what do I care about? Like what else do I want to do besides music? Because I don't want to be 50, dropping mixtapes. Like I'm not interested. So like, which is to say, if that's what you want to do at 50, do it. But I didn't want to do that. So I think, a part of it was like, okay, well, what do I feel like I can lean on right now that might yield some results and like also allow me to be creative and express creativity in a way that I wanted to. And design felt like the thing that worked. So I kind of leaned into it, I would say hard in 2017 and started picking up like different contracts and stuff and working with different groups from different states. And then also some like Durham groups too, just to get my like feet wet and get my name out there. And that seemed to work. So 2017, I feel like was the prime time.
I feel like I can relate to part of what you said there, in that it's, and what I took away is that one of the pivotal things that sort of made you like take a step back and evaluate was that you said you met your wife at the time. As someone who, you know, it's not a lot. Let me just say, I don't think it's a lot of us out there, in that they say Black women are the most undesired of all the women because they're the least married. That's what like statistics say. They say that the least desired of all women because they're the most single, so to speak. And so when I meet, you know, Black men who are millennials, who actually are married, is like, okay, interesting.
Yep.
And then you're married to a Black woman as well, which
is no question.
Interesting, right? And so, like, I'm curious, like, okay, you met in 2016. For you, at what point did it go from meeting someone to like, yo, this could be a wife, and this has me thinking different about what the fuck I'm doing? Like,
right. Can't be trying to be a rapper forever. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what's the point of like, I meet this girl, she's cool, but now it's like she got me thinking different.
That's a good question. I think it was early, bro. Like, I had dated a little bit between like 2014 and 16. By that time, like I was clear that one, I didn't want to rap forever. Like I said, I didn't want to be 50 dropping mixtapes unless it was like a Lil Wayne mixtape, right? Like, like I knew that was gonna happen. That wasn't happening. And I also didn't know how to make that happen if that is what I wanted to happen. So there's that. So yeah, I feel like it was early. Like we, you know what I'm saying? We kicked it. We met at Black August in the Park. Shout out to Durham. Shout out to the Black August in the Park group for setting off the rest of my life. It was a surprise. I didn't know. I went with a cousin.
I'm about to say, I gotta interject here. We gotta pause. We gotta pause. We gotta pause. I hate to go on a tangent, make you lose a train of thought, but okay, I love to hear a meat story. Okay, Black August, very popular event in the area. So, okay, so you didn't know her before Black August?
Nope. Clueless.
You didn't go to Black August looking for her?
Did not go to looking for anyone.
Okay, so how do you cross paths?
Yeah, okay, so went to Black August on a whim. I lived in Greensboro, saw a flyer, hit my cousin up who lives in Durham. I was like, hey, you want to go to this? She was like, yes. So one of my frat brothers' baby shower was also that morning. So I was like, this is perfect. It's in Hillsboro. I'll go to Hillsboro, then I'll stop in Durham, and then I'll go back home. Went to the baby shower, came to Durham, got to the joint. It was fire. It was like a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? US Central Park. So you got the cover and you got the people out there and the music and the DJs or whatever. Met my cousin. We had some like fried fish from somewhere. I forget what it was, which is, you know, my thing, one of our things. And then Jesse, our mutual friend, Jesse was in graduate school when I was in undergrad, and we were on a retreat because I worked for the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and I was a facilitator, and I was one of the undergrad facilitators at this retreat. So that's when I met Jesse. Fast forward a whole bunch of years to 2016, and I'm at the event, and I'm standing there with my cousin, and I see Jesse across the way, like dancing. And I'm like, I feel like I know this person. And I'm pretty sure, like, if I walked up to him and said, like, what's up, he would like know who I was. So I walked up, spoke to Jesse. Jesse was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. Da 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 da. And we were like, yeah, what's your name? Da da da. I'm Quay. Jesse, like, cool. And while I'm talking to Jesse, Brittany like appears from the side, you know what I'm saying? And she's like talking to him. And I'm looking at her, and he's talking to her. And he's like, oh, y'all should meet. This is Quay.